Hello, everybody. Good evening. We are live again today. How are you? How has your week been? Thank you, Funke, for joining. Yes, Toromade here too. I'm waiting for Toromade to join the conversation. Whew, what a day. I'm sorry I came on late today. Hey, you. Good evening.
What's up,
How are you?
my good friend?
How's your day been now?
Fine, fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh, how is the network over there? Let me ask.
Well, I'm using a Wi-Fi, so I think it's
Okay, so the network should be good. Okay, because our topic today is quite an interesting one, and is one that most artists, I don't think we rarely talk about it. So but before we start, I would like for you to give us a little bit of your background in art. Why did you choose to be an artist?
why did I choose to be an artist?
Yes.
Um, let's simply put it as it was about the only thing that I could do for myself that made sense. Now that's the simple explanation to it. But you see, growing up wasn't very easy, as people would say. It was a different case because, like other people that didn't, I had dyslexia.
Oh.
I didn't. I mean, I didn't even know until much later. Back then when you have Ghanaians teaching you maths and teaching you English and all those things, it was terrible at that time. So, but I realized that it was primary 3 at that time that somebody looked. It was my music and art teacher at that time who said, "Oh, you're not useless after all."
Wow.
Yeah, like you can draw. This is amazing, and it was the first time that meant something to me. So I was always drawing images from Ugosi Ugo and all of those other books that we used back in primary school. But time came for me to make that ultimate decision about what I would want to study in the university. And then it was crazy. I jumped 3 times. But I told myself, if this is about the only thing everybody can celebrate me for, I think I'll just embrace it. At that time, I did not know that you could go to university and study finance.
Wow.
It was during the process of writing jams and talking to people, I got to know that, you can study finance at the university. So that was when I actually made up my mind that, I'm going to give this art thing a try.
Okay.
The good thing about it is, by embracing to study fine art at the university, I discovered other things about myself that I did not even know I could do. That's the answer to.
Okay, things like what? We're going to come back to that. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I've known you for some years now, and I know that you're not just an artist. I know you play the guitar. You're a musician. You're a writer too, right? Am I right about that? Okay. So what are the challenges you've faced over the years in managing all this talent? How do you manage them, put them together?
I think the best way to put it is to say that for me, I like the fact that you said you know me to be an artist. So the thing is this: I like to tell people I am not a painter. Okay. I'm not just a painter. I do other things. So if you say, "Oh, Toromade, which Toromade to you?" I'd like you to refer to me as an artist, maybe like a multidisciplinary artist kind of thing. I like that anybody, tells me that I'm that kind of an artist. But to answer that question, the way I've been able to manage it, I think, is the reason why we are having this topic today. So I found out for me that um, painting alone on the canvas and doing ceramics back in school, and I did website design for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So I did a lot of things. So, but I realized that I got bored doing one particular thing for too long, So I started learning new things and taking in new knowledge. So for me, I could understand myself better just by taking up new challenges and doing new things. And I'm able to manage it so well that each time I feel depressed and I feel like I cannot work further on painting, so I can't do drawings, I can just jump into something else and be relieved and then come back to my artwork. I carry on from there. That's how I've been able to, develop a side hustle, and also make money from this side hustle. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. All right, so I'm going to go back to the first question I asked you, how art started for you. So you were talking about when you discovered all the other things you do now. Can you tell us a little about that?
Sorry, can you take that again? You said how I discovered my...
Yes, all the other talents. You were talking about it when you first started talking.
Okay, so back in the university, by the way, I graduated from Obafemi Awolowo University. I did painting major, but it wasn't because my lecturers told me, oh, you're better at painting than any other thing. I had the option of doing graphics and doing sculpture and doing other things because I was pretty much amazing at all of those other things. But then I'd been a graphic artist before getting admission into school. Because I worked at Bay, I'd done desktop publishing, I've been doing designs and all. So it wasn't, for me, I didn't think it was important for me to go study graphics or major in graphics any longer because I was already doing it. But I felt that painting gave me an avenue of learning colors and learning other things beyond just sitting in front of a computer and then designing. So it was in my final year that I discovered that people were telling me, oh, Toro, you take better pictures. And anybody who wants to take any photograph, they tell me, oh, Toro, come and take us this photograph. So I discovered photography just by what people were telling me. And then I decided to go to photography school to get a diploma in photography officially. So I did that. And then while I was in school, I got my first guitar. And I got it out of curiosity of, writing music. I could write, I could compose music and do all of those things. But then I didn't know how to play. I wanted that to help me. So again, when I felt bored doing assignments, multiple assignments from textile, from painting, from drawings, I would sit beside the guitar and then play a tune, and I carried on there, and I've written a lot of songs beyond that. Then from there, photography moved into filmmaking, and I went to school to study filmmaking. So basically, it's been a chain. It's been graduating from one level of something to another level. I feel when I get to because I got bored with photography too at some point. I got bored, doing regular wedding photography. Documentary photography is actually my core. But then I felt, why not then explore filmmaking? And I started filming with my phone. So I don't know what next I'm going to explore, but I know I'm still exploring.
All right. You said boredom. I'm going to come back to that. Yeah. I'm going to ask you a question. Okay. So right now, your works as an artist, as a painter, what message do you aim to pass across? Do your works talk about social vices, or political? Do you try to pass along a political message or a social message?
So I think from time to time, the things I've worked with, the subject matters differ actually. Back in school, because of the kind of school that I graduated from, we need to understand that there is no hard work without a story. So at that point, our focus was solely on trying to present an art that talks about a certain thing, which includes, of course, political. But as we speak right now, I think I'm more interested in
Yes.
So
yes.
most of the things I've been working on has been the black man, the black woman, the African person, how good we look in our skin, and also expression and emotions also. So yeah, those are the things I've been working on. Again, to answer you,
great. Okay.
More of social right now. Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Okay, before I ask my next question, please, if you have any question for Toromade as the discussion continues, you can please send them in. Thank you. All right. Now let's get to the core of the topic or of the matter. Let's talk about mental health a little. I remember when you and I were discussing, it was something you said you would love to talk about. And, I found it interesting because a lot of people do not understand that we go through it as well. Do you understand? A lot of people just think that because you're an artist, then you're a happy-go-lucky fellow. Nothing gets to you, nothing gets at you. When you're just feeling somehow, you can just paint. So let's talk about mental health a little, because I have a friend who has been suicidal. She's an artist. She has been suicidal on several occasions, and we've had to talk through it. The last time I spoke to her, she had to go somewhere else, to a friend's house, to stay there for a very long time. So let's talk about it. I would like to know what your opinion is. Have you gone through it? How did you get through depression and all that?
Okay, so I chose this topic, and I should thank you for giving me this opportunity. Though we're friends,
thank you.
And each time we talk about things, we sit down and talk about things that really affect our lives as artists and as a people in general. But yeah. So I chose this topic because maybe I've had my own fair share of this mental health. Now, I think we should put it out there so that people can understand this thing first. Now, mental health, mental illness, and madness, they're not the same. However, mental health and mental illness is very connected to creativity.
Okay.
They're very, very connected. There's a very, very thin line. If you're not careful, you're going to jump into one. You're not even going to know when you start running. You have a bit of illness in your mind. So, but then let's define what mental health is. Basically, it has a lot to do with your emotion, your psychology, and your social well-being. Basically, it affects the way you think, the way you talk to people. It affects how you handle things. And I want to believe that as it stands right now in Nigeria, by my own example and the research that I've made, I like to say that one of the basic things, in fact, we are all suffering from two major things in this country, and it's a ripple effect: depression and frustration. Depression and frustration. Yeah, so when the young man on the road who is trying to collect money from you because he is a police officer has not paid his own daughter's school fees. His landlady wants to send you out, but then he has stopped you, who is carrying your wife to the hospital. Now, the first hospital you've just been to just rejected your wife because she didn't provide one police report. Now, you can see that it's a ripple effect. It's a chain of frustration. Now, let us narrow it down to the common artist, or we as creatives. So, we as creatives, we've had our own fair share of it, and it is not special. I'll tell you why it is not special, and it is not new. The likes of Van Gogh, Edvard Munch, and the likes, they've been through this. We know the story of Van Gogh. Van Gogh had the case of
died in asylum.
all of these people have faced it. Beethoven, we listen to music.
Yes.
All of these people had their own fair share of mental health. Now, mental health is as simple as you sitting alone and not talking to anybody, and people are asking, what is wrong with you? But you do not want to talk to anybody. Now, how does it affect you as an artist? As I narrow this down, people believe that it is only people who are on the outside that need art therapy. More like, oh, she's facing something, it's facing something, and therefore, once you give the guy or the lady a color and they splash it, they're fine. But then the artist who creates art all the time probably faces more than the ordinary people out there. I'll tell you why. We've had cases of people taking our works away from us and we've not seen money. We've had cases of where you go to a gallery and they reject your work, or you have a boss who talks down on your work, or something happens, you can't even get money to buy material for yourself. Is it okay if I share my story of this?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
All right. Maybe from my story, people can ask me questions on how I came out of it. And I want to put this out there. I do not think there's any form of depression that can hold me down anymore, because I've been in and out of it. So I finished NYSC in 2013. While I served in Ibadan. I was attached somewhere, but I was visiting an artist, an ex-artist. I don't want to call the name. But then while I was there, I discovered a lot of things, going to the gallery, coming back, selling my works to the gallery. It didn't make sense to me because a particular incident happened where I had sold a particular piece. Now that, you know how what musicians call hit work. Like the hit music. Oh, that song don't blow.
Yeah.
This particular, but it was two. These two pieces were sold to this gallery at an X amount of price. Now, went back 2 weeks later to see this gallery repackaging my works, and I sold it. In fact, when I made the calculation, the gallery had sold to the gallery just maybe 2 or 3% of how much it was eventually sold.
Okay.
I nearly went nuts. As a matter of fact, you see me using charcoal right now? You see a lot of my works, I use black and white and stuff. It was because I did not have money to buy paint. And after that happened, I didn't have money to source for materials. Nobody was buying my work. And I went into depression for 3 years. I didn't produce any piece of art. But while I was doing that, because I had invested into knowledge, the knowledge of photography, the knowledge of music, I was starting to use my phone to experiment on filmmaking. It was very easy for me to jump from the canvas to the guitar, to the guitar, just so I could express myself in another form till I got the energy to come back into painting on the canvas. So for me, I've been in and out constantly, like every other artist, and I don't know if you've had your own experience of it, of people not buying your work, having money. My safe is to jump on other creative lines, or see a movie, or dance, or do something, because all of these things are really therapeutic. It helped me move past, this depression, because it was hard. I didn't feel like talking to anybody. I didn't feel like having friends. I didn't feel like doing anything until I embraced other forms of art.
Wow, that's a deep one to talk about, and thank you for sharing your story. We appreciate it, because I'm sure a lot of people have your stories as artists. People do not realize that creatives go through, maybe if not the highest form of criticism.
I agree. Because
you're walking and somebody just walks. It happened to me yesterday night. I was painting in my studio. My mom is with me, and it's a still life painting. And when someone comes into your studio and sees you walking and says, "What are you doing?" It looks like it's abstract. And in your mind, you're painting tomatoes. You just in your mind, you just enter, like you just go into a zone. Like, okay, how come? So people do not know that for an artist, you touch emotions that are bare.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing that. And I think talking about mental health issues is something artists should really come out to talk about. A lot of people have committed suicide that we do not know because of depression, and they're creatives. So thank you so much for sharing that.
The story you just shared right now. Back in school, a colleague of mine who was painting his father at that time.
Okay.
It was a pastel portrait. He was making that drawing, and another colleague who wasn't so very good at work, he was a junior colleague, came by and saw him painting, and then he said, Olong, any job about Sule?
Wow.
Friend thought it work. He thought it work.
Wow.
Because the kind of comments we get from people who don't understand what we're doing, even when we're not there, it has a huge effect and impact on us.
Yes.
Yeah. To also mention, you said you had a friend who was suicidal at some point. I have a friend who just left my right now. He's been depressed for over 2 months. It was on drip for about a week or so, because he didn't know what to do with his life and all of that. And he's an artist too. But again, it's something that we constantly need to talk about. But then, how do we talk about mental health, and we do not talk about what artists are doing and not doing to ensure that they do not fall a victim of mental illness? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
We only need to constantly talk about mental health, what an artist needs to be doing. Visiting an exhibition gallery is just a part to it. Okay. And I think artists need to understand that we need each other to grow, we need each other to survive, so that we do not fall a victim of Edvard Munch or Van Gogh. And so, because there are early warnings to depression and mental illness. There are early warnings to it. And maybe when as we keep on this conversation, we can start talking.
Okay. So okay. I have a question here that says, what are the challenges faced by artists of this generation? I've spoken to older artists, and the challenges they had to face we might have similar challenges that we face, but what are the challenges that are peculiar to our own generation, and how do we work around them? How do you, like all the challenges you have faced, how do you work around them to still produce creatively?
I'd like to know if this conversation is generic. This question, right?
Yeah.
The generic question, and I would like to answer from a generic point of view, not for art.
General, Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Who are art lovers that are on this platform right now. So
Mr. Olaku is here. Mr. Olaku is here.
Boss, well done, sir. Thank you for joining us. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So the question is the challenges we face in our generation. I am of this generation, Tolu. I put it to you that the greatest challenge our generation is facing right now is wanting to be in a haste to succeed and distractions. I don't understand how you want to make it so soon in life, but then the distractions are too many. So how do you want to do that? You can't achieve that. So let me explain and break it down to you. So this fellow artist are saying, and Mr. Olaku right now, and then Mr. Olaku is producing art, and this person wants to produce art like Mr. Olaku. And because he or she went to Mr. Olaku's exhibition, and Mr. Olaku is selling for millions, now sees another Mr. Ibe or Mr. Edoza and wants to be like that person. I'm like, dude, have a focus. Have a focus. If you want to be mentored by one person, be mentored. Now, it is not to say you cannot be influenced or inspired by other people. It is great to be inspired by other people. I'm inspired by all of these our bosses, and I respect them so much. But then the ace of being an artist and also wanting to be a Davido. If you are going to be a Davido, you have to be on Madeleke. But if you are going to be an artist, it comes with perseverance. Ali Brown said in his words 2 days ago, or was it about a day ago, what has kept him going is not passion. There's passion. And then somebody said, passion, yeah, we beat somebody sometimes. But then what has kept him going is persistence and obsession.
Okay.
Passion is different, but then when you're persistent at something, it means even if it is not working, you're crazy about it. And I put it to you that the Mr. Olakus of this world, the Udogus of this world, the Ibes of this world, the Edosas of this world, the Ebenezers of this world, they did not just rise up at 18 or at 20 to become who they are. They managed their clients. There was relationship. There was attitude. Because at that point, we didn't have a Nigeria of basketballs, but you know what it is right now. So my point is, we are young people. We are in a haste. We are running too fast, and we need to go back to the knowledge of the old because there's wisdom in it.
Great. Wow. Thank you. Like, you hit that so well. Okay, so I have a question here that says, how does an artist seek opportunities? How do I seek opportunities? Before I go on, we are still going to go back to our discussion about mental health issues. Do you understand? Because it's an important discussion that we have to talk about, but I need to also ask all these questions. So how do you seek out opportunities as an artist, as a creative? How do you seek out opportunities?
Opportunities by putting yourself out there.
Okay.
So, I don't know who mentioned this to me in a conversation. So because we are creative people, right? This is where we're going. So I'll try and match this question together with what we're talking about. You understand? So how do you, as an artist, seek opportunity? This is my answer to it. So any other person can actually add to what I'm saying. But I think that it is not okay enough in a country where we know that we do not have a lot of people representing young artists. For you as a young artist to spend your 80% time in producing that work of art and then spend 20% in marketing it and run the street of Lagos with your canvas, and somebody who doesn't know jack about it just say, is that a canvas? Oh, I like it. Can you open it? Let me see. Do you understand? It means the time you are putting into marketing yourself as an artist is too small. Guess what? The school teacher who earns 30,000 naira will not patronize you. And you want to sell that work of 50k. He has bills to pay. He probably just got married. He's going to give his wife money. His wife is probably pregnant. My point is, seek out opportunities. You know, art is basically for people who are obsessed about it, who love it. There are some people that don't really have the money, but they do not mind investing in it. Then look out for them. They are all over. Again, such people don't have 11,000 followers on Instagram. Don't be fooled though.
True.
They are usually with maybe 40 something people. They don't have one single post. So the best you can do is to put out your work on Instagram, then hang out more often. Go to a very luxury lounge, sit and talk with people, engage in a very intelligent conversation with people. Artists don't talk. I can draw, I can paint. That's all. Alabama. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way.
Wow. Thank you. I like the part where you said engage in an intelligent conversation. And I was discussing with my friend Funke recently. I told her that our generation we have a lot to prove to the older generation.
Yes.
You understand? Because there's a general information about us already that we are unserious, and it's not false. You understand? Because the majority of us are disrespectful, and we have refused to seek knowledge. So
True.
I agree with the fact that you have to know how to spark up intelligent conversations. Thank you. All right. So what is the essential relationship between art and beauty? Should art be beautiful, or must art be beautiful? Do you think art has to be beautiful?
Okay, so back in school, in secondary school, we defined art as simple as art is life, right?
Okay.
So the question now is life beautiful? Nice in one of his songs sang, "Life is beautiful." Rotimi, the Yemi Alade's producer and engineer, sang, "Life is beautiful." To some people, life is ugly. Life takes the shape of whatever you think it to be. And so is art. But again, life can affect you to create art that shows the world that, oh my God, my life has been messed up. That is why people that have mental illness, when they are given opportunity to express themselves, we can see from their work that, oh, this person must have passed through something. I'll give an example. Now, Van Gogh. Do you know that Van Gogh's paintings that we know it to be right now were not usually very bright? They were not colorful when he started because he didn't know what to do with his life. His brother Phil helped him. It was when he moved in with his brother, he changed environment and started creating new things.
Colorful.
Nobody makes an artwork that stays that way for the rest of his life. One thing often influences the way we work. So again, to now answer your question, art is what life has presented itself to you to be. That is what I can say. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So when we're talking about how much criticism we face as artists. So how do you deal with criticism? How do you cope?
How do I cope with criticism?
Nobody likes rejection. So how do you deal with criticism? Rejection and criticism.
In the last few, I don't know, maybe few years, I've not had anybody looking up to my work and saying, I don't like this is bad or anything. I think maybe because going to a school where your lecturer can just come and tell you this is bad or even spoil your work has given me tough skin for such comments. But then constructive criticism helps an artist to be better. So yes, now the reason why a lot of people don't criticize well and they don't give constructive criticism is because of mental health. I'll tell you why. The guy who just told you that your work is bad has an opinion from somewhere because the bus conductor did not probably give him his change when he was coming down from the bus or something. That is why, because constructive criticism is an act. It's like a habit. You need to practice it. You need to know how to tell somebody, oh, your dress does not fit you, in a way that the person will not feel like, I want to go and die. So, but then if this fellow has just experienced something, like I said, I was saying the other time for people that are just joining us, the things we experience as bad is a function of, is a ripple effect of a situation. Nothing is exactly, oh, this person is not necessarily bad. This person must have faced something. The way I've handled constructive criticism in general is that I want to know the background of the person speaking. Did he come with Uber? Did he come with Jeep? He came with Jeep. If he came with Jeep and he has gone to see, I've not seen a Mona Lisa live. I hope to see it one day and travel. But then there are people you listen to. Knowledge has a way of making you speak wisdom to people and explain. The people that often criticize me have not seen beyond their noses. That's how I can say.
Wow. I'm sorry. Hold on, sorry. I'm taking notes, so.
Mr. Ejo is here. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, Mr. Ejo is here. I'm sorry, I forgot to. Yes, and Mr. Ejo says you are right. Your environment affects your art.
Yes.
Then Mouthpiece Nigeria says beauty is a subjective terminology. Perspectives shape beauty. The admirer holds the burden of description. Wow. Another artist Ayodele Ojo says art is very difficult to define. Mr. Edger says, as long as you are in this country, you will experience depression. Okay, another question I would like to ask you. Yeah. Okay, so I want to ask you just one question about our galleries and collectors. What do you think is the importance of these stakeholders to the success of an artist's career?
Are you saying in Nigeria or in the world?
Yes, well, in Nigeria. You know, we can't compare the market in Nigeria to what it is outside of Nigeria. We are Nigerians. We have been here almost all our lives. So we can only talk about this market. So what is the importance of these stakeholders to the success of an artist's career?
And how it affects mental health. I'd like to always relate it.
Okay. All right.
Because see, these things are connected. They are
Okay.
connected. So I believe that in as much as we've done good by inspiring young people like you and I, you know, and some of my friends online right now, and all of my ogas that are watching this right now, I cannot believe that there is something that we are yet to fix. Now, we will not be talking about this if the educational system is fixed. I'll tell you why. Listen to me. I'll tell you. Now, we would not need to be asking about the importance of stakeholders in this. Now, people talk about structures. Oh, the music industry doesn't have a structure. The theater industry doesn't have a structure. Fine, now they just buy art and sell art. Let me tell you what's up. If today the educational system says that I'm not going to force you to get into university just to learn how to draw, but I'm going to create subjects and courses that will grow curators. Just so you're spending 4 years to become a curator. You're spending 4 years to become a patron. You're spending 4 years to become an art representative. Everybody knows, or an art critic. Okay, you see, we should not have ordinary people critiquing art. We should have art critics. Art critics critique art so that an artist can be better, and an artist can perform his responsibilities to his environment. Back in school, art was under environmental design and management, which means an artist has a function and a responsibility to affect his public, his audience or the public, both positively and negatively. But of course, it is for the positive means that we want it to be done. Going back to it, the educational system should have a structure that will make us have amazing art critics, great art representatives, people that can function as gallery owners who can understand the businesses, and then bring in bosses and experienced professionals of art into schools to say this is how it is done in the outside world. The education is good, but this is how we can move this thing forward to the next level. But hey, if you are forcing that gentleman to do drawing 101 and he's still drawing cup like jug, and you do not recognize that he's an amazing writer, you're going to be putting a square peg in a round hole.
Wow.
Keep having this of what is important of stakeholders, when we know that the stakeholders can be built, can grow from the same institution that produced this amazing artists.
Wow. Okay.
So that is my take on it. So the only speak to it right now, the foundation is messed up, but then we can fix it. How do we fix it? Let the school recognize that there's a place for the art teacher, but there's a place for the professional, because the artist you are training in school will eventually become a professional. We need curators. Let them say, We are bringing in professionals to tell us how it is done so that we can restructure our industries ourselves and build the kind of stakeholders that we want. Another example, people say, men has come, men has come, men has come. You, who is the woman? Train the boy to be the kind of man you want to see. That is the point.
Okay, Toromade, are you now telling me that the stakeholders we have right now, who were not trained to be gallery owners in school and all that, so what's their importance to the success of an artist? How do they contribute
to the success of an artist? The way they've they've done a nice job. It doesn't mean that it is perfect. To the success of an artist, of course, it makes you a celebrated artist. They probably send you abroad for 1 or 2 salons or shows or whatever. But we can't deny the fact that whatever you do, there is always a better way to doing it, to achieving a greater goal. That is what I'm trying to say. So it means that at every point in time, we need to revisit this case and look at how best we can then restructure our industry. Things are growing. iPhone 5 was how many years ago? iPhone 12 will be out tomorrow. My point is, structure and restructuring needs to be done from time to time.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. What is the hardest part of creating for you?
Creating. The hardest part for creating for me is influences, basically. In Nigeria is a lot. I'm sweating right now. I don't have lights in my house. I don't have lights in my house. Not because I don't have generator. But if I turn on my generator, it will disturb our talk and our
conversation.
But the lights and ambience and all of that. But then, if I do not have lights, like yesterday, I couldn't work so much because my phone was dead. I had references on my phone. I couldn't work. My iPad was dead. And I couldn't work for more than just 4 or 5 hours throughout the whole day. And I read and I slept. My point is, if we do not have the basic things, it makes it difficult for me as a creative to create that thing which I want. Yes, out of our struggles, we can give birth to new art forms and all of that. But for me, it's been not being able to get the things that I want at the time that I want it in this kind of country. But again, it has made me an artist that can work in anywhere. If you're an artist in Nigeria and you're okay, you can eat 2 or 3 times, you can pay a few bills. Trust me, you're doing well.
Okay, well, Mr. Disayetantua joined us.
Thank you.
Mouthpiece Nigeria. Okay. Mouthpiece Nigeria says town-to-town relationship is the immediate quick fix. Higher institution will take a while, and I agree that having to it's a lot of work, because in Nigeria we are still using a syllabus that is maybe over 50 years old. Ace Pixel says the educational system should diversify the educational portfolio. Artists Ayodele Ojo says the galleries are okay, but there is a vista of opportunities now. Note that COVID has made it mandatory to have online exhibitions and auctions. True. Okay. All right. So I think that's all the questions I have for you. So I'm trying it open. Do you have any other thing about the mental? If you still have an additional comment.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to mention that we should not deny the fact that as creatives, we'll constantly face these things from time to time. I've had friends talk to me about not being able to work, not because these people are not amazing, but then we need to also artists have a way of keeping to themselves. Let's try and check on each other once in a while. It's important that we do that. And there are also early signs to these things. We do not want to have casualties on our necks and hear of our friends committed suicide and stuff. But then we should not be ignorant of the fact that there are signs to depression and mental health problems. If you've been working amazingly well and you start sleeping too much, not because you did exercise, brother, what you do. That's so you start.
Wow.
If you love to hang out with people before, but you want to be by yourself, you have 10 people in a room and that one person is in the corner or at the corner, please find out and see. We should sometimes persist to know what is happening with these people. They don't want to talk, even as creative. If this person has been using red before, if this person has been using blue before, and this person suddenly and this person paints like amazing portraits, and this person sleeps now or feels angered by the slightest thing and starts to paint abstract and red, you guys need to start talking, because there's a whole lot going on around. If people start to drink too much or start to act funny, people think that mental illness is the same thing as madness. We're saying the other time.
Yes,
mental illness. Yes. It is because the regular Nigerian mad people that we see, they're usually smiling excessively or they are violent. People that really have mental health problems are usually unnecessarily quiet because they've taken in too much and they just want to explode. So yes, I think we should watch out for it and have
So how do we? I'm sorry to cut you. How do we know these things, especially in this time when we are all at home? How do we deal with it?
I really believe that we're talking about everything, but I think that we should try our bit to create a community. It's about creating a community first. Let's create a community of knowing what's happening to this person. Okay, maybe it could be that person doesn't have data. That's another one. Again, but I think we will always have a way of knowing. Not all this, but
okay. So, thank you so much. I was going to ask what the line between mental health issues and madness was, but you have spoken about it. Toromade, I really want to say that this session was Raji. Thank you for joining us.
Raji.
That this session was a very insightful one, really, because even I personally, this is the first time I'm like openly. This is the first time I'm having to discuss about mental health issues, and most artists experience boredom quickly. So what would you have to say to artists who do not know how to do any other thing apart from painting or being a sculptor? Do you understand? So how do I deal with boredom and not when I'm bored? What do I do?
You know what they say? No knowledge is wasted. Learn a new thing.
Learn a new thing.
Learn a new thing. I mean,
okay.
I bet a lot of people were bored when the government came with the mandatory rule of staying in our home. So learn a new skill. Plants. I started gardening about 2 months ago. I started gardening. I do flowers and all of those things. When I'm bored and I feel like I can't paint anymore, I want to attend to them. When I'm done doing that, I play guitar. There's always something to do. Go on Pinterest, go on YouTube, watch a lecture, watch a TED talk. Just prove yourself. See, whatever you do, you can't be too bored for everything in life. If you're too bored, that's the thing. See, if you're too bored about everything, please, is a first sign of depression. Trust me, first sign of depression. If you do not watch it, it's going to linger into something else. So please, if you observe that you are bored for about a week, you've been bored, you don't want to do anything, you just want to lie. You want to lie in bed. You don't want to even Netflix or anything. You just want to eat junk. Please seek help. But before that, engage yourself in a lot of things. There's so much fun.
Okay. Before we go, like as you said, what you just said about depression. Now, I used to think that the reason why we get depressed as creatives or as younger people or young people is because we compare ourselves to other people.
I agree.
You understand? But recently, I discovered that it could be because of anything. And please, if you just find yourself, someone mentioned, the book mentioned that keeping quiet a lot is a true sign of depression. So when you find yourself, I have experienced it, and I didn't experience it because of childbirth, because I gave birth. That was not why I experienced it. I experienced it because of another situation that involved somebody else that didn't even matter. And I discovered that for the weekend, I was so depressed. I could not cook. I didn't really eat. So my husband noticed and asked me why. So if you feel that need to just be by yourself, not want to press you, not want to do the things you would normally do, please speak to someone. And as I usually say, that the reason most people who take their lives because of depression take their lives is because they lose hope. You know, when you do not have hope, once you lose hope, you do not find any reason to live. So please, as a creative, if you're going through something like that, just reach out to another creative and work on a collaboration. Okay, I was going to ask about collaborations. What your opinion is on collaboration? I noticed that younger artists like us do not collaborate. I think what helps the older ones, they collaborated on a lot of projects. So what's your opinion about collaboration amongst younger creatives?
For somebody who is a photographer, a filmmaker, a fine artist, a songwriter, and other things in view, because you should know that I am very much open to collaboration. I mean, I didn't understand collaboration well until last year after film school. That was when I understood collaboration. Now, one person, Yoruba will say one person cannot be he have come. You understand? And there is also a proverb that says if you want to go fast, nice, you can go alone. If you want to go far, go with people, do stuff with people. The only one industry that I know that has successfully done this very well in Nigeria is the comedy industry. Basketball has a show, other people are performing more than it's performing, and when they have another show in another 2 months, it's going to do the same. So I think it's something that we artists, we need to also find a creative way of doing what we can do this.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I'm alone.
Thank you so much. It's time to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you for being on this show, Toromade. We're grateful.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And for everyone who is here, you can check on the video, the old one, in case you didn't watch the first one. It's going to be on YouTube tomorrow. Just search for The Narrative with Tolu, and it's going to be there. Yes. Someone says being bored or lonely is serious, and it could happen when you're in a room full of people. That's true. Thank you so much. Toromade, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.